Right lads, so it's time to get started. On the HASEGAWA's Kawanishi N1K2-J SHIDENKAI George, and from now on we're going to refer to it as George. I will say Kawanishi N1K2-J at the start of each video, but from then on I'll just call him George. So it was known to the Americans as George during the war, so we call him George. So it's time to get started on it. I'm after going through the instructions, both the instructions for the kit and the instructions for the photo etch. Finding out where I need to put on the photo etch, what I need to do. Some bits have to be kind of shaved. Yes, a bit of a shave to get on where you're putting on some of the coloured photo etch. So therefore that's got to be shaved before you paint it, and then you're going to paint it, and then you're going to put on the colour photo etch. So I'm going to start with the figure and the cockpit. So bear with me in the next clip. Hopefully I'll have it done by then. Of course I'll have it done by then, otherwise it wouldn't be the next clip. So in the next clip I'll have the cockpit done and the figure. We'll have that all made up. So let's get down to the bench, let's start getting work done, and let's have a look at it. Right, so I've got it done. There's the figure. Okay, he went together beautifully actually. Very nice. Very nice detail on him. See, can I fix the light and get a better picture of him? If I do that and then put my hand behind it, will that improve it in any way? Yes it will. As you can see, there's some beautiful detail on that figure. Okay. And in his sitting down position, I did the guy with the hat, the flaps up, because I'm going to have the canopy back, like open canopy. So I decided to go with the chap with the open hat. Choice with the flaps down or up. Okay, so there's our figure. I've also got the cockpit all done. Let's have a look at some of the various little components within the cockpit. We've got this piece here. Okay, now if you see in that, a second, I'll show you. It did give some photo etch for some of the pieces along here, and in making them they were so flipping small. I ended up breaking a couple of pieces. There was a piece to go here. I think it's instead of this thing here, and it just crumpled away. I mean, my fingers are too big. I can barely freaking see the bloody thing. But we got some photo etch on here. We got the little grips there on the feet of the chap. Okay. There is another bit of photo etch to go in here, but I decided not to use it because you just won't get to see it. Simple. You know, there's no point. I like photo etch where it actually does a bit of does enhance the model. It does something for it, but where you're not going to see it and it doesn't do anything for it, I don't see the point in using it. It's just put in there just for frickin' show. Look, oh, there's got plenty of photo etch in it. I have these on their little painting sticks to get the cockpit green done. There was some detail up here and here. There was some sort of clocks made out and things like that. You have to shave them off because I'm using the photo etch on them, so I have to shave off here and here. So they're already now. Get them painted with the green. Once they're painted then with the cockpit green, I'm going to kind of clean off these areas again, and then I can attach the coloured photo etch. We've got this side wall. Okay, that's one side wall. There's the second one. Okay, we've got the controls there and that. Okay, then we've got his seat. Now it did give photo etch with that photo etch set. There it gives a set of straps, you know, safety belts and things, whatever they're called. decided not to put them in because you leave them in and you lay them down. That's all well and grand if you're not going to use the figure, but like I said, I am going to use the figure. So let's have a quick look at that anyway, because there's some lovely detail again on that. Okay, I'll bring it back slightly. As you see, there's some very, very nice detail on that. Okay, so I'm going to get the cockpit green in and any other colours then that are needed. We've got the rear bulkhead for that, and we've got the front bulkhead with the cockpit controls and all that. And again, I had to scrape off and remove the detail that was on them. If you remember from the unboxing, it showed all that lovely detail on it, all the clocks and things. Slight imprint of them there, but I'm going to get that painted up, and I'm going to use the coloured photo etch on that. Also up here on the gun sight, okay, if you see here, we've got the gun sight. There's 3 pieces of clear, excuse me, they're on the clear sprue, and there's just little kind of edges bits to be painted on them, so I'm going to leave them until I'm doing the final assembly of the cockpit itself, and I can just paint the little bits that will be painted onto it. That's why they're not attached now, because you have to go masking and everything else. They're easier to do afterwards. Now I did a dry fit of all this, and I stuck the pilot in, and it's very, very nice. It really is very nice, and it all clips together really, really nice. I'm using nice a lot, aren't I? A lot of niceness. But it is beautiful so far. It's a lovely fit, nice tight fit. It made a nice little solid lump. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm going to get them painted up with the interior cockpit colour. Once I have the cockpit done and assembled, we'll have a look at that stage. Actually, once I have the cockpit done and painted, we'll have a look at it before I assemble it, and then we'll have a look at it assembled. Okay, so next step for me, get all these done with the green anyway for starters, and there's a couple of other little colours to go in on the inside as well, so we'll get them done. Okay, so now I'm after getting the figures done, or the figure done. I'm after getting the cockpit all painted, so I'll show you that in a second. Let me show you the figure first, and I'll just bring the light over there, and there we go. There's the figure, all nicely painted up. Beautiful figure, really is a lovely, lovely figure, and I am happy enough with the paint job on him. Okay, if we can get a look at his face there, I'm happy enough with the paint job on that. So that's the figure. And now for the cockpit interior. Okay, so there's the floor plate. After painting it up in the interior green, using a darker green on this section and here, some red on some of the controls, and then we had that nice PE, coloured PE piece. Okay, the controls there. So that's the floor section. Here's the instrument panel, PE instrument panel, absolutely beautiful. Look at that, really, really, really nice. Okay, I'm after getting the clear bits done as well, so that's all assembled there. We just had a back panel there, so nothing really too exciting about that. We have the seat. Okay, just the interior cockpit green and a nice black wash to kind of bring out the bolts and things, which is very, very nice detail there on those bolts and things. It did come, like I said, with a nice PE set which had the seat belts, and I didn't use them because I'm going to use the pilot, and the seat belts are for they fit down onto the seat if you weren't using the pilot, but I am using the pilot, so therefore I don't need the seat belts. There's one of the interior panels. Okay, and here's the other one. Okay, with the controls painted onto it as well. So that's the interior the cockpit done. So now I'm going to get that cockpit assembled, and once it's assembled I'll show you then what it's like, all nicely put together. Right, as you saw, there we go, we bring the camera in a little bit better. There we go. How's that? Take it off there. I suppose I should have had all that ready beforehand, shouldn't I? But anyway, this is me, so what you expect. So we saw the cockpit all nicely painted up, disassembled. So now we're going to assemble it. Okay, there's our cockpit. Okay, adjust our light a bit there so I can get a look into it. So there's the cockpit all assembled up. It's looking nice. I think I'll zoom in a bit better there when I block the light off. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Beautiful little cockpit there. Okay, so there's the cockpit, and we have our pilot as well. Okay, zoom in on pilot. Okay, there we go. There's our pilot. So he fits in nicely. Okay, a little bit of adjusting, get his hand onto the joystick. Bit of a forward wiggle. Push forward the joystick there, and sit him down into it. There we go. So now there's our pilot in position. Okay, so that's what we can get to see when we look down on it and across. There's our pilot in our cockpit. So the next step is to assemble this section here, okay, which is our two sides and a couple of little bulkheads. I don't know whether they call them bulkheads on airplanes. They do in ships, alright, but whether they call them in airplanes or not, I do not know. But our little joining bulkheady pieces, okay, and then we put our cockpit in. Then it tells us to move on to this section here, okay, the wings and then our tail. Now I'm going to change that ever so slightly, purely for the fact of making sure that the joins are nice and neat, and I don't have little steps and things, and for easier sanding. Because if I put the body section onto that and then start to fit on the tail, okay, I'm going to have it, it's going to be awkward enough, and there's a chance that I'll sort of knock this out of alignment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this section here, okay, I'm not going to bring the cockpit yet. Then I'm going to go on and I'm going to make the tail section without the wings on the tail section, okay. I'm just going to make the tail section and fit the tail section then onto the body and make sure all that then is all nice and neat. Then I can go on then with fitting the cockpit and doing the wings, okay. It's only just a slight little change to the instructions, because as you see it here, you're putting all that together at one step. I want to do that step first, get that tail bit on, okay, have it all fitted neat, sanding, any bit of sanding to be done, any bit of scribing. I've never done scribing before, but if anything is needed, I can get it done and hopefully get all that there, so it's a sort of a reasonably seamless joint, okay, so it doesn't look like a little bit of a step of plastic and things like that. So to get all that neat, then I can go on fitting in the pilot, the the cockpit section, and then fit the wings and all that. Okay, so I'm going to get ahead with getting this bit together first. We'll have a look at that, then I'll go on and I'll make the tail section. Okay, so bear with me, I'll get that done and I'll be back to you. Right, that's bit now is being done. Okay, we've got our little bulkheads in. Okay, just needed a tiny little bit of sanding on the ends of those there, the little plugs, just so that would fit in tight nice and neatly. It's all glued together, and I have it taped now to make sure that it just stays until the glue kind of sets up. I have that section done. So next now is to get the this little tail piece. Okay, we've got a center piece with the little plugs on it, and get the two sides together and get that all nice and neat, and then when that's done, then I can marry it up to here, pop it into place, and then this seam here hopefully will be nice and neat and sort of step free. So we'll go ahead and we'll get that done. Right. So now we have the tail done and have the tail glued up, so I'm going to leave that sit overnight as well as this piece here. Let the glue sit and let it do its job, let it bind everything together, and then tomorrow then I can assemble the two together and then clean off anything that needs to be cleaned off. So I'm going to leave this part 1 at that. In part 2 in part 2 I'm going to get these two assembled up. I'm going to get work done on the wings. We've got that main big wing piece, we've got the wheel wells, there's a central strengthening beam that's got to go in, and we've got our two top wing parts, okay, to go on. So like I said, I'm going to leave this section at this. I'm going to go back over my instructions, make sure I haven't left out anything. Marked off anything that I have done, double check them with the PE if there's any PE to go in and things like that. Now's the time to get it done. So hopefully things have gone together so far. In part 1, like I said, we've got our cockpit done with our pilot. Okay, oof, hop out there. I'm happy with how that came and how that assembled up together. That's quite nice. It's very, very nice. Painted up, it looks lovely. Whether it's right or not, I do not know, but it looks lovely anyway. Okay, so that's half the battle scissor. So that's part 1. In part 2, like I said, we'll get more done. So thank you for taking your time out to watch my videos. Don't forget to give it an old thumbs up. Thumbs up, yeah. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and if you have, thank you very much, I do appreciate it. So don't forget, on Monday, which will be tomorrow, we've got our bum, so a bit sort of a bench update with myself and Abs. Don't forget to watch that, and don't forget to stay tuned during the week for further updates on George. Okay, so until then, in the meantime, enjoy your modelling, have a nice week, and don't forget, go out and buy yourself a kit, build it and enjoy it. This is John signing off, saying I'll catch you on the next one.